Al Roker Television Studio, this is WTOP 10 News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Stone.
And I'm Alicia D'Addario. Tonight's top story, the FBI has released photos and video of the two men suspected of being responsible for the Boston bombing.
Yeah, and Alicia, the two men were photographed walking down Boylston Street near the finish line of Monday's marathon before the explosions that killed 3 people and wounded about 180. Our thoughts and prayers are obviously still in Boston. Also, a mother was intoxicated behind the wheel. She also had 5 children in her car.
And a tragic death on James Street via a motorcycle accident. We will have more on these stories in just a minute, but first, a quick check of your weather with meteorologist James Gilbert.
Thanks, Alicia. Right now outside, it's a beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening. We're right at about 63 degrees for our temperature, which is pretty lovely if you ask me for, middle to late April. But if we do look out to our national radar, we do see a little bit of blue. What is that? That's actually snow, folks. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of snow in the forecast, hopefully not for us anyways. Right now, we have a pretty strong cold front that's right across the United States, and that's bringing a lot of rain to a lot of areas, and we can expect that by Friday afternoon, mid-evening. Goodbye those nice warm temperatures, and hello much, much colder temperatures, actually almost Arctic feeling temperatures in the mid-30s for the overnight lows on the weekend. I'll have much more of that for my full forecast. But for tomorrow, daily planner, 62 degrees outside, and that's going to be early. The high is going to be right around lunchtime at 64, and then by 5 o'clock we can see some pretty heavy showers, temperature already down to 48, and then 43 by 10 o'clock, and the temperatures will only keep dropping. Back to the news desk.
Auburn woman crashed her vehicle containing 5 children while under the influence of drugs. Another woman who was also intoxicated avoided injury because she had a child on her lap. Now the child was injured but does not face threatening circumstances. The driver, Michelle Andu-Jar, told police that she took Xanax, Zoloft, and Adderall in addition to drinking before the accident occurred. She was charged with endangering the welfare of a child and disorderly conduct. The children have been referred to protective services.
A man who died after his motorcycle crashed into a back of a stopped vehicle and threw him into oncoming traffic Wednesday night has been identified as 38-year-old Benjamin Koss. The other drivers were not injured, although Koss was taken to Upstate University Hospital but succumbed to his injuries overnight. Police say after being hit by a Dodge Durango, he was launched from his bike and hit by an Audi. Police are still investigating the crash.
Fire officials responded to an emergency call in Carroll on Wednesday, and 4 men are under arrest. Now, the 4 men are from Elmira, and they were arrested in connection to the deaths of a man and a woman. The 2 victims, Gordon Skinner, 66, and Joyce Skinner, 59, were victims of a home invasion, according to authorities.
A Syracuse man who beat his 18-year-old girlfriend to death was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison on Thursday. 39-year-old Craig Owens was found guilty of beating and strangling Letitia Hayes in their apartment. Hayes was pronounced dead after suffering severe head and facial trauma. Owens' previous record includes drug charges, assault, and unlawful imprisonment. Owens maintains his innocence, and his lawyer says he'll appeal Thursday's conviction.
This evening, SUNY Oswego alum Kendis Gibson stopped by the campus to give a speech as a part of the Voice of Diversity.
Dan I has more on this event.
All right, thanks guys. I'm here in the Campus Center Auditorium where just this evening Kendis Gibson, a class of 94 from Oswego, met with students, was here sponsored by Voices of Diversity as well as Auxiliary Services and the Alumni Association, giving a talk to students about his story, about what he's done in his career. He's worked in multiple different markets, started off in Rochester, moved on to Philadelphia, he's worked in Atlanta, San Diego, and now he's in Washington, D.C. And he talked about some of the challenges that he's faced, and we also had the opportunity to watch some of the packages that he's created and some of the stories that he's been able to present, some of the more serious side as well as some of the lighter side. And also afterwards was turned into a Q&A session where students were able to ask their questions to Kendis and delve into his mind, into what his thoughts were on the current status of the TV news industry, as well as what it's seen in the past 10 years. And one of the things he stressed was he believes it to be a dying business, and not necessarily in the next 10 to 15 years. It's just that it hasn't found the role that it needs to adapt into in the way it plays, because it still plays such a role in breaking news. Students afterwards, as well as the student media organizations, had a chance to talk to him, ask him some questions, pick his brain, and it was a good night in terms of networking, as well as in terms of just having an alumni come back. Actually, this coming Tuesday, we're going to have another alumni, Lou Borelli, will be on campus talking to students as well. So a lot of big things happening with the alumni here as the year starts to wind down. So you got to keep alert on this, especially if you're interested in the broadcasting field and getting involved in networking with alumni. Once again, tonight from the campus auditorium, Candace Gibson, class of '94, was meeting with students. And Alicia, now I'll send it back to you.
Thanks for that, Dan. And yesterday, SUNY Oswego hosted its annual Quest Day.
DJ Enriquez and Marlena Montero have more on the day's events.
Oswego held its annual Quest event all throughout the campus center. Quest is a full-day event held from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and consists of presentations and poster sessions created by students on a variety of topics. Students like Catherine Rosario spent a lot of time on the days building up to Quest, gathering information and working with professors.
I've been working from the beginning of the semester. I guess you can say the entire semester. I finished it like last week, 2 weeks ago, and it's just like research that I've been looking over, reading over these testimonies and all their experiences, and putting it together in a visible board for.
Some students studied abroad and worked off their personal experiences for their Quest projects. Kimberly Pekarsky and Renee Sterling were one of the many who found themselves doing Quest research in a foreign country.
Puerto Rico was really fun because we got to actually visit like police officers, forensics building where we got to see autopsies. Yeah, so we got to experience the full effect of it and see how damaging drugs is to Puerto Rico.
The annual Quest event brought many students to poster sessions and presentations and will hopefully continue to receive a large reception in the years to come.
Thank you, DJ and Marlena. A scary scene unfolded in the town of Eden on Tuesday where a father was allegedly beaten by his son. Police say 59-year-old Anthony Stile was assaulted by his 21-year-old son. Now, the 20-year-old Vincent, he used a baseball bat and a pepper spray on his father, whom currently is receiving treatment at Upstate University Hospital. Vincent Stile was arraigned and taken to the Madison County Jail in lieu of a $500,000 cash bail or a $1 million bond.
Computers seized during a child pornography investigation against personal injury lawyer Martin J. Rothschild back in February have been returned, says Assistant District Attorney Jeremy Calley. Rothschild's lawyer argued to have the computers returned, claiming confidential client information was on the computers, putting their privacy at risk. Calley says forensic exams were completed on the machines to ensure any and all child pornography had been removed.
Now, Oswego is notorious for its wacky weather, and now the university is getting a $320,000 federal grant to study lake-effect snowstorms. The school, SUNY Oswego, is one of 4 universities getting a portion of the nearly $4 million grant from the National Science Foundation.
Lupe Fiasco will look to rock the campus center this Saturday for the spring concert. Lupe focuses most of his music on controversial political and social issues. His album Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap Album Part 1, was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 2013 Grammy Awards. Floor seats for the concert are sold out, but stadium seats are still available. Tickets are $10 for students and $20 for general admission. Doors will open at 7 and a start time of 8 p.m.
Now, coming up after the break, we'll have the latest on the man who sent suspicious letters to Washington.
We'll also have a look at your full forecast with James Gilbert. Stay tuned. You're watching WTOP.
Oswego MBA program, helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Last night, Lori Capricuzzi scored 2 goals on Aliyah Brian Love.
And Joe, get out. Adam, you're in. Lori Korpakowski scored 2 goals on Ilya Brizgalov. Got it!
Now, welcome back to WTOP 10 News at 10. We're joined by meteorologist James Gilbert. And James, gorgeous day outside. I know a lot of people on campus had their shorts, flip-flops, T-shirts out today.
I definitely did.
Yeah, it was a really nice day. Now, there was a really strong wind, which was a little bit bothersome, but you know, we're used to that being here in Oswego.
True, that is true. My hair got a little messed up from the wind, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Girl
anytime
problems.
you can get away with really nice weather, we'll take it here.
So obviously we got the
Exactly.
weekend coming up. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, what's our forecast?
Well, mostly dry, really, and maybe not as warm as we got today, but we can expect pretty dry temperatures and the sun will come out. Let's take a look at what we've got going on right now outside for us. 64 degrees outside, so it is pretty nice. Still warm, but we do have windy conditions that have continued. That's a south-southeast wind at 20 miles per hour. And we have been seeing gusts that have been pushing 30 to 35 miles per hour. And that's what we'll see through overnight. Now, around New York State, we see temperatures actually colder in the east than they are in the west. We see 55 in Albany, 56 in Glens Falls. And as we move further west, we see 65 in Rochester, hotspot Buffalo of 68. And that's because of a term that us meteorologists use called downsloping. There's actually higher terrain down here in the southern tier and then lower terrain north of that. So with the south wind, as it goes over that terrain, it actually falls, compresses, and warms up. So look at that. New York City 57, Syracuse 63. That kind of puts a smile on my face. Around the United States, we have much colder temperatures, though, further off to our west. We have 30s, 25s, 20s as we get into Denver. And that's just going to keep sweeping off across to our east and say goodbye to these nice, pretty oranges and yellows. Much colder temperatures on their way. Regional radar, nothing going on for us, pretty empty in New York State, and that'll stay like that overnight. National radar, we have a pretty deep low pressure system right over the Great Lakes, and that's giving us a really strong cold front all the way from Louisiana up to Michigan. And behind that, we do see some blues, and that blue is actually representing snow. Now, this snow is also mostly light snowfall, and we're not really going to see much accumulation from that, but we will see rain from that cold front. So the thunderstorm squall line, as it arrives tomorrow, 10 a.m., it's going to be still pretty warm by that time. 1 p.m., it's going to be right here, just entering New York. 4 p.m., there's us here in Oswego, so by 4, 5, 6 o'clock, the rain is going to start coming down a little bit, and it's not really going to be consistent rain. It's not going to rain all night long, but it will rain pretty heavily for a period of 3, 4, 5 hours starting tomorrow night at around dinner time. So let me time it out for you. Here is what the radar will look like. Futurecast, 11 a.m., just peeking into New York, but it hasn't really gotten to us yet. We're going to start seeing some clouds, maybe possibly a rumble of thunder by 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Here's the rain. We do see a little bit of yellow in the northern central Pennsylvania areas, but we will definitely be in the rain by 5 p.m. Like I said, we might actually hear a little bit of a rumble of thunder, which would be pretty cool for that time. Tomorrow night by 11 p.m., like I said, it's really not going to be a prolonged event. It's going to kind of just come and go, sweep right through our area. We do actually see some reds over here by Albany, and so that could possibly be some severe thunderstorms. So, and that is, along with that, we're going to see even more gusty, windy conditions. Now again, Friday, it's going to be pretty warm early, 64 degrees. That's what we're going to see around midday, and then that rain is going to come by mid to late afternoon. A short period of rain, but pretty heavy at times. Winds will be continuing to gust up to 35 miles per hour. As we move into Friday night, partly cloudy, light shower, that'll kind of be lingering, but oof, look at the temperature, 36, it makes me cringe already. West, 15 to 25 miles per hour, strong gusts. Saturday, partly sunny, cold. Sorry, 40 degrees, I can't do anything about it. 5-day forecast, 64 down to 36. Saturday, that's gonna be our cold time. 33 degrees at night. Wear your jacket when you go out, maybe even your winter jacket. And as we continue through the week, temperatures will slowly start to moderate into Monday and Tuesday. I'm your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, James Gilbert. Back to the news desk.
All right, thanks for that, James. And we're going to take a look at some New York State news now. Senator Charles Schumer's office on Capitol Hill was on lockdown for nearly 2 hours on Wednesday as police searched for a person who was possibly handing out suspicious envelopes. Capitol Hill had a reason to believe the envelopes were dangerous because on Tuesday, a letter was sent to U.S. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, and that letter tested positive for the deadly poison ricin. A representative with Schumer's office says he was in no way a target of any threat.
In the aftermath of the bombings at the Boston Marathon, Governor Andrew Cuomo says New York State will increase its police presence. In a news conference on Tuesday, the governor says he'll use additional police resources, especially until the circumstances in Boston are resolved. Cuomo called the bombings a reminder to the state to keep vigilant. Cuomo says if there's anything New York can do to help the city of Boston, it will.
The tragic event in Waco, Texas is still being investigated. Emergency crews are continuing to search for the victims of the fertilizer plant explosion that occurred Wednesday night. Crews estimate that between 5 and 15 people have been killed and more than 160 injured. Texas Governor Rick Perry declared McLennan County a disaster area today.
The FBI said Thursday it confirmed the presence of the deadly poison ricin in letters sent to President Barack Obama. Paul Kevin Curtis, a resident of Corinth, Mississippi, was charged with sending a threat to the president. During a 4-minute hearing, the judge ordered Curtis to remain in custody until a grand jury issues an expected indictment and a preliminary and detention hearing on Monday, April 29th.
Coming up after the break, Sean Gillis has your full sports report, including Oswego softball and lacrosse.
But first, here's a look at your late night menu.
The Oswego MBA program, helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Welcome back. If you have an accent and you want to use it to your advantage, check out what international reporter Larissa Meneses has found out.
This week, I'm going to show you guys how to use your accent in your favor. I'm going to show you 3 situations where an accent always comes in handy. The first situation I'm going to show you guys is how to call someone's attention.
Oye, mami, preciosa, let me get your number.
Of course. In the second situation, I'm going to teach you guys how to sound more interested with an accent.
God like nature, God is front, and we are all mortals and of human race, and it were glorious odds for
Whoa. Yeah, let me read it. It's really boring. Rows upon rows of blood against race I see, living or dead, inevitably descend. And sun or sight contain.
Wow, your accent is really... The last situation I'm going to show you is how to get out of awkward situations with your accent.
Oh, can I get your number?
Claro, yo ni sé inglés.
I'm sorry, doesn't matter. Can I have your number?
No, que yo no sé hablar inglés.
Now that you saw the 3 situations, I hope you know when to use your accent. And don't worry, everyone has an accent.
All right, thank you for that, Larissa. We're going to take a look at sports with Sean Gillis.
The Oswego women's lacrosse team lost a tough one today against Clarkson, losing the game 8-13. The Lakers scored the last 5 goals of the game, but it was too late as the Golden Knights moved to 8-4 overall record for the season. The Lakers, who are now 5-7 on the season, were led by juniors Mackenzie Kerstad and Courtney Costino, along with sophomore Becky Guess. The team looks to bounce back from this loss as they return to conference play Saturday, squaring off against the Brockport Golden Eagles. The women's softball team finds themselves in a tough spot going forward towards the playoffs. The team, who has a 7-13 overall record and a 4-6 SUNYAC record, find themselves in 7th place, which is 1 spot from where they want to be. The top 6 teams in SUNYAC make the playoffs. If the Lakers want to get to the playoffs, they are going to have to win this weekend. The Lakers host 2 doubleheaders against New Paltz and Oneonta. New Paltz currently sits in 6th place, the last spot for the playoffs. The Lakers are going to have to win both home games against the Hawks if they want any chance at seeing the playoffs this year. Now, moving to professional sports, all Yankee fans are going to have to wait even longer for their captain to return to play. The Yankees already find themselves without many of their star players due to injuries, but none more is devastating than the loss of Derek Jeter. Jeter was already on the disabled list due to an injured ankle, but a recent CT scan discovered the additional crack near the previous injury. The captain has not played in a single game since Game 1 of the ALCS last October against the Detroit Tigers and is not expected to come back until after the All-Star break. The Yankees will have to go with Eduardo Nunez as their starting shortstop for the time being, who is currently batting .240 with 0 home runs on the season. Now, the 2013 NBA playoffs is shaping up to be one to remember. Though some say the Miami Heat are poised to repeat as champions, they are definitely going to be challenged this year. The Heat will have to get by the Knicks and the Chicago Bulls to make the finals. The Bulls ended the Heat's 27-game win streak late last month. Now, the number 1 seed San Antonio Spurs in the West will have to face off against the Los Angeles Lakers, who will be playing without Kobe Bryant. Now, without Kobe Bryant, the Lakers could almost kiss their playoff run goodbye. The Spurs will not have it easy, as well as they will have to get by other top seeds in the West, including the Thunder, Clippers, and Nuggets, to get to the finals. The playoffs will begin on Saturday, April 20th, with the Boston Celtics facing against the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden at 3 p.m. Now, that's it for sports. Now, back over to the news desk.
All right, thank you for that, Sean. We will be right back after the short break.
But first, take a look at your community calendar.
WTOP. Yeah.
Oswego MBA program, helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 News at 10. Boston law enforcement may be soon getting a cinematic thank you, and an American Pie star gets held at knife point in his own home.
Martha Shade has more in Hollywood Minute.
Following this week's bombing in Boston, the cast and crew of an upcoming Sandra Bullock comedy set in the city want to show their appreciation for local law enforcement with an advanced screening of the film. Makers of The Heat say they got a lot of help from Boston police while filming the movie. Bullock plays an FBI agent who clashes with a Boston cop, played by Melissa McCarthy. Director Paul Feig says the movie is, quote, a love letter to Boston. The movie premieres to the public on June 26th, but the early screening for Boston police and FBI agents has not yet been set. An American Pie star is okay after being held hostage in his Los Angeles home Wednesday. KCBS KCAL reports Eddie K. Thomas, who played Finch, was trapped by a woman with a large kitchen knife. Police say the woman spent the night with the actor and became agitated in the morning when asked to leave. Authorities eventually used tear gas to get the woman to surrender. Thomas was able to get away without injury, and the suspect was taken into custody. Ben Affleck is out, and Will Smith is in for a new comedy called Focus. Affleck, cast alongside Kristen Stewart, dropped out in December due to a hectic schedule. The Twilight star followed suit soon after. According to Variety, Smith has now been cast as the film's lead. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
In a galaxy far, far away, yes, Star Wars is making a triumphant return to the big screen. Disney has announced that it will release a new Star Wars each year after it releases the franchise's newest installment in 2015.
And rumor has it that the classic movie Mean Girls will be turned into a musical. While the news is exciting for movie and music fans, all the buzz is around Amanda Seyfried not wanting to play her role as Karen. Seyfried says she desperately wants to play Regina George, who was played by actress Rachel McAdams in the movie. While Seyfried's career has skyrocketed since her days as Karen, critics are skeptical in her ability to be the successful ultimate mean girl.
As we just saw before, Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy showed their support for Boston police and the FBI in the movie Heat that's coming out June 28. Director Paul Feig said Thursday that he is arranging an advanced screening to show support for the city.
Actor Harrison Ford got bleeped on TV on Wednesday as he let the F word slip while talking about his experience at Dodger Stadium. Ford tossed the first pitch as part of the Dodgers tribute night to sporting hero Jackie Robinson. He stars as the club's late general manager, Branch Rickey, in the new Robinson biopic 42, and he admits he was overwhelmed by advice from friends after they learned he would be taking the mound. Realizing he had uttered a swear word on national TV, the actor paused and covered his mouth with his hand. And before we say goodbye, let's take one last look at your forecast with meteorologist James Gilbert.
So if we look at our classcast here, temperatures will start out at 57 by 8 o'clock in the morning, so it should be a pretty nice day, a little bit warmer than average actually, and then it'll get warmer and warmer throughout the day to top out at about 64 by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then unfortunately, the temperatures will get colder and colder. By 6 o'clock, 55, we can expect some rain early to mid-afternoon, right around dinner time. And that rain is actually going to be pretty heavy at times. We might hear a rumble of thunder, see some lightning, which would be pretty exciting for that. But then for this weekend, we can just expect really just very cold temperatures, and that cold temperature is just going to just really have a strong grasp on us. Saturday night, forecast low temperature, 33 degrees.
It's such a bummer that the temperature is so bad on the weekends when I want to be outside.
Yeah. I know, and then during the school week, you know, we have, unfortunately, nice, beautiful, warm temperatures.
Right, now, guys, obviously us in the Cons department, the Aussie is coming up tomorrow night. Obviously a big day for everyone in the Cons department, so I'm sure we're all looking forward to anything that you guys are really excited for. I know a couple of us up for awards. It's going to be an exciting night.
Yes, I got my black dress ready. I'm ready to roll out the red carpet. Aussies 2013, here we come.
All right, and that's going to do it for us here at WTOP 10 News. For the entire 10 News team, I'm Matt Stone.
And I'm Alicia D'Addario. Stay tuned for the Weekend Rundown. Good night, Oswego.